Subcourse Edition OD 1403, Edition 9. Shop Safety. Shop Safety Subcourse 08140, United States Army Combined Air Armed Support Command, Fort Lee, Virginia 238011809, Edition 9. 5 credit hours and new 1989. Lesson 1, Shop Safety Rules, Procedures, Developing a Shop Safety Program. Learning event, describe the general shop safety rules, potential safety hazards. Learning event, develop the rules. Learning event 2, develop the rules, procedure for a successful safety program. Practice exercise and answers to exercise. General precautions, using the following general safety precautions is recommended to guard all works against available injury or gears. Pulleys, belts, or other moving parts should have a guard plate to prevent injury to personnel. The guard should be removed only for repairing. Adjusting the machine should be replaced before operating. Safety screws should be used in collars only on revolving or moving parts of the machine, tools, or equipment. Do not work without proper light. It is extremely General precautions. It is extremely dangerous to attempt to operate any machinery, power tool until you are properly trained in its use by qualified personnel. Ignorance causes many accidents in the shop as carelessness. Wearing loose or torn clothing, particularly loose or torn sleeves, neckties, flapping belt end is dangerous. It can easily catch into moving parts, draw in, cut the fingers and the hand and the arm, other parts of the body. Never wear gloves when operating a machine except when absolutely necessary. Do not start a machine while it is being adjusted or repaired. Do not lubricate a machine while it is in motion. Injury to the operator or damage to the machine may result from the practice. Removing the metal chips while the machine is running is dangerous. Stop the machine before removing chips from the work area. Eye protection should be worn during any machine operating to protect the eyes from flying chips or particles. Safety precautions for drilling machines. The following safety precautions are recommended for drilling machine operation. Do not attempt to adjust the piece of metal that you are drilling while the drill machine is running. Never clean chips away from the workpiece with your hand or rag or a piece of waste material. Always use a brush to remove chips. Do not support a workpiece with your hands. In revolving drill, should it snag while drilling, the workpiece could wrench out of your grip, and this could cause the injury to your damage the workpiece or the drill. As all machine tools that have been revolving cutting tools, loosening the clothing is potential hazard. It can catch revolving tools and draw operators into the moving parts of the machine. Safety precautions for grinding machines. Most accidents result from grinding machines operating or eye injuries caused by flying particles. Eye shields should be attached to the grinding machine to reduce flying particles. Goggles should be worn by the operator for all grinding machine operations. The following additional precautions should be taken. Never be used a cracked grinding wheel before using the wheel. Tap it lightly with a mallet or suitable object. A ringing sound indicates that the wheel is satisfactory. A dull sound indicates the wheel is cracked or should be discarded. Grinding machines should be used with exhaust air system to prevent inhalation of harmful dust by the operator. Never operate a grinding abrasive wheel at the speed in excess of those recommended by the manufacturer. The high speed may cause the grinding wheel to burst into flying pieces. While starting grinders, always stand off to one side until the wheel has come to a full stop before using. Be careful to keep your hands away from the revolving grinding wheel. Contact the abrasive wheels will cause serious injury. Safety precaution for laths. The lath operation accidentally commonly caused by loose clothing snagging on a revolving workpiece, the chuck, or the lath dog. The eye and skin injuries can result from flying chips when tearing cast iron or non-ferrous metals. Care should always be taken to prevent contact with a hand, arm, or with a lath dog, chuck, or workpiece. In addition, the following precautions should be taken. If a coolant or cutting oil is used, taking care to prevent the liquid, the splashing of the floor when adjusting the splasher's pan. And the cooling oil or coolant can make the floor beneath the lath very slippery. That may cause the operator or passerby to lose his balance, suffer an injury. Do not try to stop the machine with your hands or body. Always see the work cutting tools clear at each other that they are securely clamped before starting the machine. Always remove centers and cutting tools when not being used. Safety machines from milling machines. Although accidents result from milling machine operation are few in number, they usually are severe. The following precautions should be observed. The greatest hazard of milling machine operation is contact with a revolving miller cutter. Loose, torn clothing should not be worn when operating with a milling. Chips should be removed from the workpiece with a brush, never a rag or hand. Flying chips are dangerous. Wear goggles, face to shield eye or face injuries. Do not attempt to use the machine power to tighten arbor nuts. Never adjust the workpiece of the work mounting device when the machine is operating. When using cutting oil, prevent splashing. The use of appropriate splash pans. Cutting oil on the floor can cause slippery condition that could result in injury to the operator. Safety precautions for shapers and planters and shapers and planter accidents. Like milling machines, accidents are usually severe, though not frequent. Observe the following precautions. Flying chips are commonly the shaper operations. Necessary precautions should be taken to prevent eye damage by wearing goggles. Accidents with the planter is usually caused by operating, getting the moving table or the ram arm. This may cause him to be caught between a table and a frame of the planter. Similar accidents are caused by being struck with the ram of the shaper. When it is properly adjusted, the operator should make sure that the areas around the shaper or the planter is clear of personnel before starting the machine. Never attempt to adjust the planter table stop dogs. The workpiece, the cutting tool, the machine is while the machine is operating. Make sure the cutting tool is tight and mounted securely before operating. Keep your hands away from the work table while the sharper is cutting. Make sure that the workpiece is mounted securely before starting any operation. Manually operating the machine through one complete cycle to check all clearances. Safety precautions for sawing machines. Observe the following precautions when operating a saw machine. Keep your hands away from the saw blade hacking saw or the band sawing machine when operating. Do not use your hands pushing the metal workpiece into the blade by the band sawing machine. Keep the fingers well clear of the saw blade at all times. When removing the installing band saw blades, handle the blades carefully. A large springy blade can be dangerous if the operator does not exercise caution. Safety precautions for the portable power tool. All portable electrical tools should be equipped with 3 conductor flexible cords. Their third conductor is electrical ground attached to the chassis of the tool. They must be grounded on a suitable ground source so the plug is connected to the power source. Failure to connect to the ground may result in severe shock of the operator. This will happen if the electric installation with the electric motor or portable tool housing should become damaged. Observe the following additional precautions. Never operate a power tool unless you are completely familiar with its operation. Make sure that plenty of light in the work area. Never work the power tools in the dark areas when you cannot see clearly. Before connecting a power tool to the power switch, be sure that the switch is on the off position. When operating a power tool, give it your full and undivided attention. Never try a clear jam power tool until it has been disconnected from the power source. Do not allow power cords to come in contact with sharp objects, chemicals, hot surfaces. Never use a power tool that has a damaged cord. See that all the cables and cords are positioned carefully so that they do not become tripping hazards. Never use a power tool around water or stand on the wet ground when using a power tool. Safety precautions using a jack. Be aware of capabilities of jack, especially for the loading capacity. Overloading can be hazardous to the jack operating personnel and the load is being lifted. Observe the following additional precautions. Keep fingers away from all moving parts. Never get under the load that is only supported by a jack. Any jack that is subjected to failure, personnel injury, or death could result. When jacking up the vehicles, make certain that no one is under the vehicle being raised. Make certain that all the hydraulic jacks are filled with oil and no visible oil leaks. Safety color code markings. Using the proper paint color symbols in the mark hazards in the workplace required throughout the Department of the Army. We'll discuss the color combinations that have been defective, preventing accidents, improving production, visual awareness, of housekeeping. We will also discuss hazards must be uniformly marked throughout the Army. Use of paint specifications for making hazards and making safety signs are listed in AR 380-530. High visibility paint is appropriate with the color of instant recognition, essential luminous phosphorence paint to mark locations of dangerous areas, exits emergency equipment in darkened areas to save money. It is acceptable material other paint such as decals and tapes in appropriate colors. Red markings. Use the red as the basic color for identifying. Fire detection, fire suppression equipment. This includes fire alarm boxes, pole boxes, fire blanket boxes, fire extinguisher containers, fire extinguisher unless local painting is unnecessary for large areas. When the extinguisher is not readably visible to the area, the occupants use the red housing wall on the area above the extinguisher to show its location. The fire hose location, fire pumps, fire sirens, sprinkler piping, fire buckets, fire reporting telephone stations, fire exit signs. Container of flammable liquids. Follow the instruction below. Paint the following containers red with a yellow band around the can. An alternate method is to paint the red with the name of the continent stenciled in yellow. Safety cans, other portable containers, or other flammable liquids. Danger. This includes danger signs, fixed flashing warning lights, reflective material on barricades or temporary obstructions. Stop buttons, bars such as the emergency stop button or the bars on the machinery. Yellow markings. The following area examples were solid yellow, black stripes. Yellow with black checkers may be used to use the pattern that attracts most attention in a particular environment. The pattern called for in a local SOP. Designation. Caution. Examples when you use yellow markings for caution, including handrails, guardrails, bottom edge of overhead doors, top and bottom treads of the stairways, fire hydrant barrels, caution signs, waste containers of the combustible material, list contents using black letters, a hazardous area or a safe easel of the hazardous area designates area easel, and making lines with 46 inches wide floor and floor lines and supplemented the caution signs. Marking physical hazards. Examples to where use yellow markings for physical hazards: lower pulley block, cranes, covering guards for belts, piers, and other moving parts, pillars, posts, columns, and physical hazard fixtures suspended from the ceiling of the wall that may be present a header, corner markers of the storage piles, exposed underguard edges of platforms and pits, glass panel doors, obstruction barricades, and static ground points. Green markings. Using a green basic color designate safety equipment operator devices to include the location of the first aid equipment, the firefighting equipment. The following are examples where solid green and white stripes, green cross with white background, white crosses of the green background will be used. First aid. Mark the location. First aid kits, stretchers, emergency showers, eye wash basins, other making mark location, protective mask, safety starting buttons on the machinery, and safety instruction signs. Machinery using green and the color marking machines such as lathe presses, millings, and other shop machines highlight with yellow moving parts, operating arms, levers, so on. Black and white markings. Use black and white markings as basic colors for designating housekeeping, interior traffic markings. Following the example where solid white and solid black single color striping, alternate stripes of the black and white or black and white checkers will be used. Traffic examples include location width of easels in non-hazard areas, dead ends of easels and passageways, direction signals. In the 10 D 1403 lesson learning event, the housekeeping examples include the location of refuse to clear floor areas around the first aid, firefighting, and other emergency equipment. Blue marking. When blue markings for the outside of the switch boxes, electrical controls, and our starting points of the power source hazardous machinery. Orange markings. Using orange marking. Orange is the basic color, designates dangerous parts of the machine energized equipment, including electrical conduits, which may cut and crush, shock, or injure. Emphasizes hand hazards in machinery enclosure around a gear belt or moving equipment is removed, exposing unguarded hazards. Accident prevention signs. Accident prevention signs. See Figure 1 on the next page, as used to indicate and define specific hazards that could lead to personal accident, injury, or property damage. The AR 38530 contains the specific details, specification for these signs. Categories of accidents prevent signs. These signs are placed in categories according to their purpose. The category required the signs, colors as follows: danger signs in red, cautions in yellow, safety instruction signs in green, and directional signs in black. Here's an example of a danger sign: black, red, and white. Example of a caution sign: black and the caution and yellow on both sides. Green and white is be careful. White and black is in a directional sign. Information sign: a variety of colors may be used except for red, yellow, magenta, purple. Use accident prevention signal signs. Danger signs are used only when immediate hazard exists. There will be no variations in type or design of signs posted on warning specific dangers. All personnel will be instructed for the danger signs to indicate improper damage, that special precautions are necessary. Caution signs only to warn against potential hazards, to put caution against the unsafe practices. All personnel will be instructed that the caution signs indicates a possible hazard against which proper precautions will be taken. Safety instruction sign: use a safety instruction sign where as needed in the general instruction suggestion. Relatively safety matters. 12 OD 1403 Lesson 1 Learning Event 1 Directional signals. Directional signals usually be used in significant numbers to indicate where the specified location. Informational signs use the informational when advisable to convey the information on the subject, not necessary of a safety nature. The DA label 172 is a danger hearing protection required, and DA label 172 hearing protection decals of the warn of personnel the noise hazardous associated with the selected small power equipment. Also direct the appropriate protective measures be taken. Accident prevention and fundamentals of discussed and safety precautions that we need to observe while working in the shop. Not you may be saying to yourself, this is not very difficult to understand, so why do many accidents still happen? So let's break it down. The actual cause an accident to happen. The danger is in white, the red danger is in red, and the white, you'll see the white and black marking the hearing protection when operating this equipment in the DA 172 label. Defining accident. First step in dealing with any problem, define the simplest form of an accident. Unplanned event is the OD 1403 Lesson 1 Learning Event. For the Army purpose of the following phrases added this does damage personal property. Important note the distinction between the simple definition and the Army definition. Some accidents do not injure anyone or damage anything, but only cause delay or interruption in normal routine. The accidents usually do not have an impact on the mission. Therefore, the accident reporting purpose of the Army is concerned only with the accidents that cause injury or damage, but we supervisors may be concerned with the interruptions. The signal to use the probable exist should be corrected before the result is an accident. An accident chain of events. The chain of events leading to an accident can visually be represented by the domino sequence, figure 3 of the next page. If one domino of the row is pushed over, the result will fall in this succession, but in the key domino, unsafe action or condition is removed from the accident, domino does not fall. In fact, any one domino can be before the accident is removed. Coming before the accident is removed, the accident does not occur. The illustration: if the person has not been fatigued, the accident may not happen. While the person performing the task while he was fatigued, he would not train for the fact that the fatigue can cause accidents. Lack of safety and training. Did he just not care? Poor attitude towards safety. What ordered to do job anyway. Poor supervision. Unknown causes the domino with a question mark. The areas of the factors good supervisors consider as create their safety programs. Chance or fate. Domino theory points on one of the most important signals concept relating accident prevention. Most of the accidents do not occur by chance, caused by the unsafe action conditions. Often they heard in phrases, well, I guess the number that came up the chalk up to the bad. Such superstitions have no place in the accident prevention. Simple content or complex. A simple important concept. Accident prevention is extremely complex. Usually an accident combination of causes rather than single causes. Therefore, it is important for the accident thoroughly investigated to determine underlying causes which may be corrected. Here's the domino effect. Sub causes fatigue, unsafe act or condition, accidentally, and injury. Classifying accident causes. There are three basic elements in the accident: the individual injured, and the agent, the object of the person that caused the injury. The environment are the three elements, or combination, or can be primarily responsible for causing the accident. The individual injured is almost partially to blame when the accident occurs. Safety experts estimate that unsafe behavior accounts for 85% of all accidents, even though the remaining of the 15% of the accident, human error may be involved. Why, for example, does a stack of heavy cartons in a stockroom topple over or crush a man's legs? This answer because the human stacked the cartons improperly, in addition to being primarily cause. The OD 1403 Lesson 1 learning event of accidents, human behavior is almost the most difficult to figure out of the change. The agent is the object, substance, or person immediately causing the injury. This could include a hammer, cleaning solution, split, oil, a person who can cause an accident. Remember, determining the agent causes the injury, property damage, and the accident in just the first step of the accident investigation. To determine the true cause of the accident, it must be discovered why the agent is involved, why the hammer improperly, while the grease left the floor. The environment refers to the physical surroundings in which the accident occurs. Hazard, unsafe conditions, environment is the easiest to detect and correct. Again, an important note to all human behavior: other responsible existing of unsafe conditions. Why is the light in the workshop inadequate? Why is the shop too hot, causing fatigue? How many failures are there? Are the cause of the happenings. Accident prevention techniques. There are 3-time proven methods of effective reducing accidents, keeping them to the minimum. The methods commonly referred to as the 3 E's of safety: engineering, education, and enforcement. Principal engineering safety. 5 basic principles of engineering safety are: 1. Knowing the hazards. 2. Finding the hazards. 3. Eliminating the hazards that can be eliminated. Guarding against the hazard which can be eliminated, and avoiding creating of new hazards. Knowing the hazards obviously requires the skill experience of someone who has worked with a particular job, a piece of equipment, activity. This person analyzes a specific job, determines specific safety requirements, finding hazards of a given operation activity involved the supervisor personnel who has skills and ability to detect the hazards while you would not expect to find a recruit training or other recruits in the use of the firearm. You would accept to see a non-commissioned officer performing this section. Elimination of unnecessary hazards. Elimination of unnecessary hazards due to imply the particular job, operation, activity must be avoided. Obviously, the functions of the Army, there are many hazardous duties most performed. The object is to reduce, move, and unnecessary hazards. This can be done by correcting the change, modifying the mechanical feature of the job, operation, activity, as treating the floor of the shop with slip-proof compound. Also emphasizing the human aspect, but drawing attention to the hazard. For example, training supervisors that fatigue can lead to accidents in the shop. Compensation of the hazard which cannot be removed required. So the teaching of the correct procedure involving making the individual aware of hazard, ensuring the necessary skills, ability. Compensation hazard. The most important factor compensation of the hazard is that there are adequate numbers of competent supervisors. Avoiding the creation of new hazards, avoiding the creation of unnecessary hazards requires constant supervision, competent personnel, and these personnel must ensure the job performed the most efficient ways possible. The most efficient way is usually the safest way to do it. Perfect evaluation of the job's operations and periodic evaluation of the job operations of activities is also essential to ensure the hazard does not creep in. Education and training and the means for the developing of the safe behavior compared to engineering and enforcement. Safe education is a long, slow procedure, sometimes results in hard to see. However, it is which is the best and the most the E, which is the best and the most long-lasting results. Education versus training. Training is the process of developing the skills necessary to do the job, performing the operation, engaging the activity. Education is the process of teaching man how to act in the performance of the job, operation, activity within his mind. Army accidents can be classified into 2 types of operational and non-operational. Operational accidents are those which occur in the performance of duty. Operational actions can be rapidly reduced in additional training and close supervision. Non-operational accidents are those that occur when the soldier is off duty. The accident requires the education to teach a man to act safely when he is not under supervision, when he is on his own. Military personnel who have safety responsibilities should be more concerned with educational aspects of the safety problem. There are 3 aspects of safety education: training, development, positive safety attitudes, imparting knowledge for the safety performance, developing skill level necessary for safe performance to development, through the training. Safe attitude, safe knowledge is developing through the education. Safe knowledge of the rules and regulations essential for the safe performance. High degree skill operating motor vehicle is sufficient for safe driving. The driver must also have knowledge of traffic regulations, stop distances at various speeds, warning signals, indication defective brakes or tires, the effect of alcohol, fatigue, or alternate perception. A long list of other factors having operating knowledge also exists in the proper safety attitudes. Knowledge. Safety attitudes. There are attitudes at least understood as the most difficult safety problem. The attitude may simply be defined as the way the person feels about something, although the knowledge of the word does not ensure that the favorable attitude contains needs and needs must be fulfilled but before favorable attitudes will develop. They are needed for belonging. A person who feels that he is participating member for the group, developing a desired attitude towards the objective of the group, in this case safety. Security and trust. A person who feels security and trust by the group will strive to reach a group determined objectives. Self-esteem. A person who feels that he is respected for the group by the group go along with the group objectives. The supervisor shall try to meet these needs of the individual under the supervision if he can, if he is well on his way to establishing a high degree of morale, as well as a safe performance or on and off duty. A positive attitude toward safety will also lead to the greater acceptance of safe knowledge and skill provided in the training. Enforcement. Most accidents can be prevented through adequate safety engineering and education. However, there are some people who are hazards to themselves, other because they're familiar to comply with the accident accepted standards for these persons. Strict enforcement safety practices backed up to promote the corrective action and necessary. No accident prevention can be successful without effective enforcement. Accidents usually in the direct result of violation of safety principles. More supervisors hesitant to reprimand a person just involved in an accident. Normally, the reprimand is not only for having an accident; it's for a violation of safety order or procedure. The orders were made to prevent such an accident from happening. Motivation of safe performance. The basic problem of accident prevention is getting people to perform safely. High degree of the safety incorporated. In this section, OD 1403 lesson learning event 1 in the design of highways, bridges, automobiles, all types of equipment. If only we could design safety human beings, this would the closest we could come to the getting the people to what they want to be safe. Definition, motivation. We are constantly bombarded with appeals to buy things, clothing, cars, toothpaste. Manufacturing these items is trying to motivate us to move products. Basically, motivation is simple that they are getting the way to want to do things your way. Motives versus incentives. The motive of the emotion of things make us want to do something. How do we appeal to the motives? What does the providing appropriate incentive, praise, award, participation, security, stimulated, desirable motives among persons motivating for safety? Distinction between needs and incentives extremely important. One must recognize that may needs are common to everyone. Food, drink, self-preservation. Much of each places a different value on may and other needs. Such safety, respect for the others, and creative. And some individuals have little desire for recognition. Others spend most of their waking hours seeking for recognition. You as a supervisor must understand the nature of human needs that can motivate individual or group into thinking your way. Check safety motivation. The supervisor should be constantly alerting the indications of safety motivation highly among the person. He can do this by checking the following factors. If the conditions are not met, he knows that this was the room. The improvement of the safety motivation, that he must observe that. There is an increase in the desired learning in the case of increased safety performance indicated by the reduction of accident. Individual or group efforts toward the safety are persistent. OD 1403, lesson learning event 2. The individual group expresses interest, satisfaction, attempting to achieve the goal of improved performance. You have now completed learning event 1. You should be able to identify safety hazards in the shop, familiar with the group general shop safety and consideration. You should know that the accident prevention can only be achieved identifying, eliminating hazardous procedures, operation conditions. You have also learned how to establish safe practices consistent with a military operation, how to train, motivate personnel to perform safely. Now let's move on to learning event 2. Here you will learn about the Army Safety Program, other safety programs affecting the soldier. You will be provided the information on how to develop a safety and inspection program for your shop. Learning to develop the rules and procedure for successful shop program. The Army Safety Program will briefly discuss the policies, procedure, guidelines of the use and implementing the Army Safety Program. These include Occupational Safety Health Administration, or OSHA, or Department of Defense DoD safety policies, guidelines, and necessary for the unit to establish a successful shop inspection program. It will also assist you in developing necessary safety standing operation procedures, standing operators procedures, SOPs. Safety goals. The safety goal of the United States: reduce accident, manpower, monetary lose to minimum. This will provide the most efficient use of the resources for advanced combat effectiveness of the Army. Provide safe and healthful environment at all times for all personnel and other exposed operations. Objectives. The safety goals are achieved with the following safety program objectives: prevention of injury, occupational illness, prevention of injury, occupational illness, reduce the frequency, severity of the injury, illness resulting in Army operations. This will improve the employee morale, efficiency. It will also reduce the expense caused by lost production, sick leave, or other related expenditures. Damage control aims to detecting, eliminating the cause of the preventive unintended damage to property as a result of the Army operation. Accident prevention involves the use of special techniques to detect unsafe behavior conditions for the preventing accidents. Compliance with statutory regulatory requirements for this use of specialized experienced safety staff ensures consistent with economic compliance, applicable safety requirements of the federal statutes and Army regulations. Host nation statute of forces and agreements. Liability limitations. Liability limitation involves properly action to reduce the likelihood of liability claim. A legal action against the Army. Occupational health involves the implementation of AR 405 to ensure the physical and mental health of all personnel and corporation of the in cooperation with the safety personnel. Policies below will be followed with the safety managers at all levels implementing the safety program. Policies listed basically geared toward the commander, but it's necessary for you, the shop supervisor, to understand the overall concept. It will help you to develop a working safety program for your area. The safety program will fully support the Army mission when minimizing adverse impacts on the operation. Accidents prevention is command responsibility. Commanders must ensure compliance with the safety program. They must also establish an additional requirement necessary for the safety of the personnel under their control. Safety requirements set by the headquarters normally will not be waived without approval of the headquarters. This does not prevent the commander from issuing temporary waivers for an emergency. All waivers must be a subsequent review to the higher headquarters. Problems in the area of the common to serve the commands will be reviewed centrally. This will ensure the efficient accident prevention efforts throughout the Army. Reduce accidents in general. The Army Safety Management Information System (ASMIS) is designed to eliminate duplication effort. Command safety data managers will coordinate studies and evaluation of the commands and similar missions. Programs developed centrally and all subordinate commanders sufficient flexibility to develop alternative approaches to meet their individual needs. Hazards analysis, which we'll discuss later, will be used to identify and control hazards during the planning stages. Commanders emphasize the use of such early detection techniques. It is better to determine problem areas prior to the accident occurring until the accident has occurred. Available resources must be applied against the hazards. The work first system basis evaluation of the hazard properties must include consideration of potential consequences, degree of injury, occupational illness or damage, mission, legal, regulatory implications of each of the hazard situations must also be considered. Hazard identification. Let's now discuss the minimum hazard analysis procedure, which were mentioned in the paragraphs above. These are the minimum procedures for conducting inspection of operations of facilities and OD 1403, Lesson 1, Learning Event 2. Hazard analysis procedures involved with developing Army material will comply with the system safety provisions of 38.5.106. This commander will determine whether the hazard analysis procedure meet the safety requirements. As a minimum hazard analysis procedure will be priority method to use to detect accidents there. If the threat is are those that are likely to produce frequently severe personal injuries, higher dollar losses, produce significant legal action, or publication discredited to the Army, are also considered procedures for conducting hazardous analysis to the outline 385.16. Inspections procedures outlined below designated as Standard Army Safety Occupational Health Inspector SASOAHI are mandatory. The criteria will be followed for the installation level inspection. Additional procedures are also authorized for the following are mandatory. All facilities will be inspected at least annually by the Standards Army Safety Occupational Health Inspection Procedures. Fast facilities operation involving special hazards will be inspected more frequently. These additional inspection requirements will be determined on the Safety Occupational Health Officer. All SOS SASOHIs will be conducted of qualified civilian military safety. The health professional non-specialist personnel may be used to inspect facility judged by the safety occupational health official and as entailing little risk. The SASOHI may conduct without prior notice. Notice inspection will be used as safety health personnel determine that they will provide a more meaningful inspection. Installation commanders may deny the right of any person who may interfere with the inspection to accompany the inspector. The inspector conducted by the SASOHI will consult with the sampling personnel, military affecting their safety, health, and then will offer the opportunity to identify unhealthy working conditions in the work area. When the inspector discovers the situation that poses immediately danger, he will notify the immediate supervisor. The inspector will provide a technical advice to supervise the scene, and the supervisor will then correct the condition, withdraw the personnel from the exposure, and lay imminent danger hazard that cannot be immediately corrected without will be identified on a DA Form 4754 violation inventory. When reports of the violation results in the SASOHI will be provided with the head of the activity of the commander unit inspected. The reports will cite hazard safety management deficiencies, recommended corrective action of the DA Form 4753. Notice of unsafe, unhealthy working conditions may be used causing cause if the inspector finds a situation that may cause death, severe injury, major property damage. DA Form 4753 will be initiated posted at near an area posted at and near the area in violation. All safety deficiencies found by the SASOHI will be entered in the DA Form 47054 violation inventory log. The log will be used to monitor the compliance, will show the violation order of its discovery, which also the date which the deficiency corrupted, the date of the follow-up inspection. Procedure will establish follow-up of the correction deficiency and identify that during the SASOHI the corrective action plan will not be accomplished. The inspector will notify the installation of the occupational safety health officer, the OSH. He will determine the remedial action to include notification installation commander as if appropriate, and all safety occupational inspection procedures will conform to security regulations. Safety training education standards. The Department of the Army DA is tasked with the OSHA, OSHA, and DoD to provide safety occupational health training for all personnel. The following are the minimum requirements for the implementing training program for the shop level non-supervisor personnel training. The training includes job safety health training appropriate for the work performed. This will include the OSH criteria of hazard associated in any materials operation workplace. This includes informing employees of the OSH procedures of their rights and obligations under the AR 38510. Civilian employees training. The civilian employees training should include the training to prepare the assist in maintaining a safe and healthy working place. The training should be given additional training given to the employees during the normal work hours. Supervisor training includes the training of the recognition, elimination of the hazards. It will also cover the development of the other required skills to implement the Army's program at the working level. Army sources for the safety material: the DPAM 1081 and DPAM 1082 films and film strips suitable for the safety training and information programs are listed in the DAPAM 1081 and DAPAM 1082. DAPAM 2530 and 2530 identifies the source of the Army regulation, special regulation, circular pamphlets, DA posters, Joint Chief of Staff, Publications, General Orders. DAPAM 2530 also identifies sources of such field mails, reserve officer training, corps manuals, training circulars, Army training programs, Army subject schedules, Army training tests, fire tables, trajectory charts, and tables of organization, equipment tables, distribution, and tables of allowances. Safety and management. The success of Army safety program depends on the command and support of all levels. Particular attention should be focused on the grassroots level of the unit commander. Operation activities of the unit must be examined on the cognizant continuing basis. This is where you shop supervisor go to work. You must ensure the development, application, maintenance, appropriate safe practices, eliminating unnecessary hazard conditions that may be accomplished through the proper safety management. Objectives of safety management. Safety management consists of planning, organization, directing, controlling the accident prevention effort. The primary objective of the safety management is to prevent accidents causing injury or property damage. This can be accomplished by only establishing and enforcing safety practices, includes eliminating eliminating control of hazard conditions, educating training and personnel, and routine use of safety operation conditions, safety proper program elements. Successful safety management results from effective use of the following 11 safety program elements. Safety program elements. Safety of program elements result in the effective use of the following 11 safety program elements. Safety administrative consists of the planning, budget, directing, evaluation, re-evaluation of the program. Safety training involves developing safety habits and skills among the Army personnel. Safety training must integrated into every phase of the Army operation activities. Safety education involves teaching Army personnel need to use skills, habits developed. The training and the safety promotion involves maintaining safety awareness. This is accomplished through the mass communication media. This may be in the form of the group discussion, safety meetings, new releases, bulletin board poster notices, posters, other methods. Safe engineering consists of eliminating physical hazards and environmental guard against those hazards which cannot be eliminated. Safety inspection involves evaluating arms, structure, equipment, grounds, programs, and performance. The purpose of these inspections will be to eliminate the hazard condition, correct unsafe behavior. Safety standards consist of the minimum specification required of minimum safety equipment, procedure, performance, accident investigation, reporting involving evaluation of the conditions and actions surrounded by the accident, as also involving the recording of the facts accurately and clearly to prevent the accident that happening again. And the accident analysis involves appraising the accident reports to determine the trends of accident occurrence. This applies the remedial measures to stop such trends. Potential hazard analysis involves recording and evaluating near-miss occurrences. These occurrences or those which, except for the luck, are unusual, could have been an accident. Such appraisal should lead to the development of measures to prevent the potential accident. Job analysis put to right to the job, the right machine, the right person together into an accident-free workstation. The supervisor of safety, in effect, everyone who has authority over another person is a supervisor. All supervisor personnel should assist the commander of the accident prevention program. The supervisor will ensure that all personnel follow the established safety program. Safety program supervision. The qualities necessary to effective safety supervision are the same as any other effective supervision. Large measure associated with the leadership with a list, cooperation, support of the group work best. The supervisor has responsibility demonstrating importance for the safety through his own actions as a leader. He cannot ignore safety regulations himself, except for others to follow them. And extremely important that the people understand safety rules and the necessary for the necessity for them. Blind obedience is not enough. No supervisor can keep a close watch on all his men all the time. If people understand why they are to do something in a certain way, they're more likely to do their work in a safe fashion. This way will continue to do properly enough, even though the supervisor is not looking over the shoulder of the group of the works, rather than the supervisor more effective in the performance. Supervisor has authority. Soldiers under this authority not sure of the fairness. This may complete each other in the supervisor favor. This can lead to the hostility. Hostility will destroy the cooperation needed for the effective safe group performance. It has been shown that the accident rates are lower and under supervisor whose leadership's ability is superior. Whose accidents happen? Research demonstrated the following two factors are associated with the accidents: of familiarity with the task, the person engaging in an activity in which little or prior training or experience. Isolation of the person is also being when he is performing the task. Good supervision can prevent these circumstances from arising and preventing the accidents. Basic ingredients of safety supervision: maintain safety performance among the men. Understand his command. His supervisor explain the stress safety rules, the reason for the rules, be able to safely perform the task himself adequately to demonstrate the proper performance. Train the men in safe performance. Make available safety tools, equipment, and maintain them in safe condition. Properly place all men in tasks that were within their abilities. Develop safe methods of performing a task. Motivate the men is to perform safely. Promote teamwork among his men. Supervisor's responsibility. All supervisors personnel assist the commander in the unit accident and the prevention program. They do not require all personnel to follow the safe operating procedure. Supervisor orients new personnel, teaches safe practices, enforces rules and regulations, investigates accident, prepares some accident reports, conducts safety inspections, safety meetings as required. No one is better or is qualified in a better position to discover correctly safety hazards and violation than the supervisor. He is one of the men who deals directly with both the worker and the job. He is the best positioned to improve the workers' attitudes toward the job, to improve the work knowledge of the job, to improve the work skills, to insist on the safety practices of the job, to correct unsafe conditions involved with the job. When a supervisor fails in any one of these responsibilities, he can expect the efficiency, cost, results, supervision, and the method of preventing accidents through continuous instruction, guidance, persuasion, and enforcement. Supervision is basic accident and prevention control. If the supervision fails, and the responsibility, constant observation, frequent enforcement become necessary. Individual and safety. The commander's officer will help the user supervisor conducts continuous efforts to prevent accidents. Does this relieve the individual soldier of the responsibility of safety? Who is the role of the individual soldier in accident prevention? Individual responsibility, safety, accident prevention is responsible for each of the soldier, civilian, employee, both on the off duty. If the responsibility if each of the individual comply with the rules and regulations and standing operations SOPs, the most corrective the report unsafe conditions and report all accidents. They must protect devices and warn other hazard condition practice, developing awareness, safety in every activity and our off duty individual makes his greatest contribution to the unit safety program and safety inspections. The point to remember: the accidents not just happen; they are caused by unsafe conditions. Our acts obviously the best way to prevent accidents is to eliminate unsafe conditions. The Safety Act safety inspection. One of the way to do this is safety inspections are a form of preventive maintenance. Purpose of safety inspection. Purpose of safety inspection is to eliminate accidents caused by the set procedures established to meet the purported purpose of well-planned and safety. Inspection will detect specific unsafe conditions and practice, highlight the need for specific safeguards for men and machines, help to sell the safety program to the personnel, encourage individuals to inspect their own work areas and work practices, allow safety personnel to come into closer contact with their unit, and personnel detect deficiencies in the management and safety program itself. Yeah. Yeah. Special safety inspectors are concerned with the conditions of the work area and equipment and personnel. Practice and job procedures. Successful safety inspection require the following 5 elements: component inspection and personnel definite schedules regarding to what the inspection is, how frequently, adequately, orderly procedures such as an inspection checklist, effective supervision, follow up to ensure that all the conditions have been corrected. Safety inspection personnel. Safety inspection should be conducted by the qualified personnel. They could be used as a unit safety officer, safety NCO, supervisor, maintenance personnel, the installation safety director, or can assist in safety inspection having. You may have the safety engineers or inspectors to prepare checklists to assist you in performing their inspection. He may also have the conduct inspection, teach new personnel how it is done, when to look out during the inspection. The unit commander should participate in the safety inspection presence through the inspection indication of the interest in the safety of the commander. Participation in the inspection will also increase the safety interest among the men. Inspection committees. Inspection committees should be formed to increase participation in the inspection. This will ensure the inspections are through their coverage. The committee should consist of experience represented in each of the operation activities inspection. A top quality individual can assist in developing checklists to be used in inspection specific areas and activities. Training safety inspectors. The unit safety officer should be a qualified individual to perform the safety inspection. However, each of the operation is its own particular aspect. Unlike the unit safety officer would be familiar with all of them. They should be, except for the consequent personnel content. Each of the operations should accompany the assist with the inspection. The personnel should be familiar inspection procedures qualified to inspect the area. In the OD 1403 Lesson 1 Learning Event 2, he is assigned to inspect. The installation safety director can assist to the safety officers develop a brief and adequate training, or these persons. They should also familiar with all publications containing the safety requirements for the operation equipment that they are to assist in inspection. Two basic types of safety inspections are one call inspection. The one call inspection is made of the safety representative of higher command. Purpose of the type of the inspection: evaluate the safety performance of the unit. It will also determine the area of the improvement is needed present to the fact of the unit commander. The continuing inspection. Each of the activity requires periodic inspection toward the specific function. Continuing inspection might be termed quality control. Maintaining and finding safety problem areas. The inspection is used to discover conditions, procedures, practices that might cause accidents allowed to exist. That is, inspection that you are operating supervisor should require and schedule conduct. The inspection scheduling. The inspection should be planned to make the most effective use of the safety personnel. Consideration must be given to the inspection activity. The normal operation would be disrupted with little possible. Safety inspections schedule should not be announced. This allows the inspector to observe operations under normal conditions. Advance warning of an inspection allows personnel to police the area for an inspection. Safety inspection checklist. The safety inspection checklist should be used in inspection DA guide for each of the activity. DA PAM 38051 contains a suggested safety inspection checklist. This can be reproduced locally, should be used together with the appropriate references safe materials during the inspection. Other safety inspection considerations will be mentioned later in the sub-course. Safety inspection records during the inspection and unsafe condition of the practice revealed by the inspection shall be recovered, recorded on the checklist, and the form should contain the useful information such as the date, time, and inspection name of the inspector. It should also contain detailed account of the items failed, the inspection recommendations, correction for the deficiencies, maintenance of the inspection records. Each of these use should maintain a master file comprised by the report of all inspections. These inspection reports should be maintained with the identified period of the time each operation and activity should be accompanied with the report of all inspection conducted with their activities recommendation based on the inspection should be followed up with until the condition have been corrected. Inspection consideration of the tank turret machine shop. The checklist should be used to guide in establishing a safety operation procedures and developing indicator checklists of the shop safety inspection manual. Remember, this is only guided should be changed to meet the safety needs of the particular shop operations. Maintenance area. The following items should be considered are the high flashpoint solvents being used in the cleaning and the testing of the prescribed regulations. Are lock assemblies checked on the maintenance standard? Are they free of grease and oil? Are maintenance personnel continue caution regarding wearing loose clothing, dog tags, various items of jewelry around their equipment and the materials? Is good housekeeping maintained? Maintenance personnel operating equipment and controls before ensuring that all personnel are clear of the moving parts? Does the maintenance personnel engage in horseplay or makeshift work stands or scaffolding used? Are jacks inspected regularly when the defects of the safety locks and hydraulic fluids? Are hoisting devices in good repair? Are load limits indicated on the device? Are drip pans used to catch on the oil and spilled oil properly? Is electric equipment properly grounded? Are fire extinguishers readily available for the immediate use? Is adequate ventilation provided to prevent the buildup of harmful grease? Are toolkits periodically inspected? Defective tools replaced? Are extension cords checked periodically for deterioration due to the contact of oil grease? Personnel prohibited for the sketching extension cords, stretching extension cords along the floor, or shop entrances exist clearly identified as safe load limits of the cranes, derricks of the both maximum and minimum position clearly indicated as the crane derricks equipped with a brake device capable of stopping at least 1.5 times the rate load. Our cables, wire ropes, and inspected on the broken strands of the corrosion or other defects. Machine shop. The following suggested: our machine shuts down before the maintenance is performed. Our oily rags, waste, and other grease-soaked materials disposed. Metal containers with self-closing lids as they close cans empty daily. On the personal caution about the wearing loose clothing, long sleeves, gloves, and while working with the moving machinery. In eye protection warm for the flying particles of metal art production. Are lathes allowed to stop on their own accord, and the hand pressure prohibited for stopping the spinning chuck as the setting of the tools prohibited, but the lathe is in its motion. Are clamps and bolts checked to ensure that they are low enough to pass under the arbor cutter of the mill machine? Is it certain that the ram of the shaper is accordingly cleared before starting the machine? Is iron protection worn when operating shaper grinder? Are grinding wheels thoroughly inspected defects before use? The operator of the grinder to use one side of the injury wheel fractures when the grinder is first started. If the tool results in the grinder properly adjusted with any personnel prohibited the grinding extremely for the stock. Is the grinding on the side of the wheel prohibited? Are machines properly grounded in low resistance ground? Is scrap metal properly cleaned up and disposed? If the is the illumination of the machine shop adequate? Are the machines so located to provide operators with sufficient space to handle the materials perform the job? Are machine controls clearly identified with the appropriate color coding? And are machines control located conveniently accessible to the operator? General supplies and storage. The following suggestions are made. Is the arrangement orderly and neat? Are the warehouse principles being followed to the aisles and clearing of spaces and boundary lines? Are adequate safety precautions known and adhered? Here too are enamel lucre paint or POL products stored in well ventilated area. Stored in a well ventilated structure supported with other storage areas, or stack of the materials piled neatly, securely. If is the clearance between the electric light fixtures and the stacked materials at least 18 inches, is smoking prohibited in other than designated smoking areas. Are flammable liquids grease stored in no smoking areas at least 50 feet from other stored materials. If the materials stored in the not to and fro with the sprinkler heads, fire valves, firehouses, fire extinguishers, fire exits, fire doors are large, bulky, heavy materials stored near doors to minimize handling facility material movement. Precautions to ensure that gasoline-powered light trucks are refueled inside storage buildings when the motor is running. Are frequently checks made to the storage as hazardous supplies ensure the safety. The conclusion: the subcourse is provided with this basic information concerning the Army Safety Program, general safety procedures. This knowledge should assist supervisor implementation successful shop safety. When you learn to prevent the injury, loss of life due to the damage to property resulting in accidents, such as accidents, prevention can be achieved. Identifying and eliminating hazards, procedure, operations, continuous additions, and you must also learn how to train personnel to perform safety. Repetitious drill whether they'll train a soldier to repair the tank properly before educating them to prepare it safely. High quality research development has produced Lesson 2, equipment designed to operate efficiency and safety, effective supervision, ensure the properly used and maintain adequate education training. All personnel will result in safe performance, and if it's used, those should be ready to take the practical exercise. Next passage, you have possible problems with any of the answers, review the tests, and repeat the exercises.